few weeks ago, I posted a reel.
There's like 0 reasons why to create drama on a wedding day.
It just frustrates me so much. Gosh, like how hard is it just to have awareness about other people you're working with?
It's not because they don't know, it's because they don't care.
And it got a lot of attention online, mostly because it was pointing to a real frustration that many videographers have felt and experienced working weddings.
We're gonna have to share, guys. I'm sorry.
Hundreds of videographers felt validated, while some photographers felt like the villains.
Why are we made to be the bad guys?
And the comment section started turning into a war, photo versus video, us versus them. And truthfully, I could have left it there. I could have let the fire burn and let everyone just sit in their echo chambers, in their corners. But truthfully, that wasn't the point. And it never was. Because the photographer that was clipped in the episode, he reached out, and instead of trading shots back and forth in the comment section, we decided to do something that the internet never does. We sat down, we talked, and we had a conversation. And what came out of it wasn't a winner versus a loser. It was a conversation that the wedding industry has been needing for years. Michael from The Vendor Table, he's a photographer, he's a film school kid, he's been on both sides of the camera. And in this episode, we unpack the frustrations that photo has about video and that video has about photo, and how we can ultimately work together to fix it so that we can show up for the people that actually matter that day. And that is the couple. So before you pick a side, I hope you listen to the whole thing. Welcome to the How to Film Wedding Show.
I get like videographers feeling like, they're the gum on the shoe kind of thing. And because I've been there and like, it sucks. You do have a lot of photographers that want to collab. So it's kind of like that mentality of like, like not every apple is bad, like there are a few, and especially you get to the higher level, you get to the ones that, the high end $1 million weddings, things like that. When you're shooting those and, there is obviously everybody has a way of doing things. The couple hired you for a specific thing, and everybody wants to get in. There's stress levels involved in that stuff, right? You obviously want to get something that works for the couple, and like at the end of the day, that is representative to your style and brand. But at the same point, I'm always preaching collaboration, so that at the end of the day, like you gotta like I always tell people, you gotta understand that you're not the only one there. Especially if I look at that vendor list and I see a stacked vendor list, like content creator, videographer, things like that, I know I'm gonna have to take turns. Or if I'm working with, like, especially if I'm working with a cinematic filmmaker, you're going to have to. They want to set up shots. They want to do things. They want to light. They might light differently than me. So I'm going to give them that room to breathe, and I light different than them. So it's like, we're going to have to take turns with that. So how you do that, you build it into the timeline. You build it into the schedule. You talk, you collaborate, you get you reach out, you see how you do. I don't know how I'm working or how you work, like I'd love to know, and get a good idea if I can't get a feel from the Instagram. So it's all about communication and collaboration at the end of the day.
I think what struck a nerve the most with a lot of people on that reel was just like, there is a real struggle. I don't want to say a power struggle, but there's more so just this sense of, or lack of, consideration. Like you said, I mean, it is, the name of the game is collaboration and communication. But when you try that and that doesn't work, what's the next step? I mean, like, what do you really do other than, because I'm more non-confrontational. I've worked enough weddings, 13 years in. I can navigate photographers that just want to steer and command the room. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, I'll work around you. It's no biggie. I'm going to feel a certain way about it, and it's going to be kind of frustrating, but I'm not going to make it a big deal on the wedding day. And so it's just like, I'd love to just kind of hear more from your perspective on like, what's one thing, like, since you've worked both sides, what's like one thing that you wish more videographers understood about how photographers work? Because maybe there's a disconnect somewhere.
Mm-hmm. There's just like there's different styles of videography, there's different styles of photography. Like I usually don't have trouble working with videographers because my style lends itself to video. It's movement inspired. It's called lifestyle wedding photography. So it's very movement inspired. The couple really doesn't stand still for that long. I use prompting over posing. So I used a lot of walking, a lot of hand holding, a lot of like leaning into one another, kissing. If I do an editorial style pose, they're still moving in certain ways that video motion can be captured in that regard. Right. So I do that. I developed my style over the years to be like that because I had a video background and I love motion. I think like even though I'm capturing a still image, motion is still conveyed even if it's frozen in time. You could still motion also loosens a couple up, right? Like at the end of the day, it does. It makes a couple feel more comfortable. They don't feel as stiff and rigid. So that's the way I like to work. Certain photographers don't like to work like that. You will have the fine art photographers or the pure editorial photographers that want to pose, that are rigid, that like are moving the couple's arms or the bride's arms in every which way, like positioning, and that does require a little bit of time and structure that I think some videographers may not understand or fully grasp, because it's like, what can I do to get that shot? Like, what am I going to do to like they're standing there doing this, it's now here's what I see is like photographers need to be more understanding. If a videographer is hired, okay, and like on a day, they should incorporate motion in some way, shape, or form. And I just think that's out of consideration. Like that is just me. That's what I've preached that to. I've mentored so many photographers. I have second shooters, and I'm always like, hey, if the videographer's there, try to use motion as much as possible. Like if I'm not present, but that's how I've trained a lot of my shooters to do that. But when I'm doing poses, or it's like an editorial, where it's like heavy flash work, where video I know a lot of videographers don't like flash.
Yeah.
Like that's part of our job is using flash. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to turn you and be like, yo, Jared, you need a shot? Like your turn kind of thing. I'm always going to be considerate in that regard, because that's what you need to do as a creative, as a member of the creative team. A lot of people look at the photographer as essentially the leader on a day. And I think I heard you guys talking about this on your episode. There's not a lot of photographers who know how to lead. And I get that. Not everyone's like me. Like I take charge of a room. I command a wedding day in terms of how I operate. And that's just me. That's my personality. I'm very extroverted on a wedding day. But at the same point, I know a lot of photographers aren't. So that's where that collaboration comes in. And that's where that communication comes in, where, hey, like if you guys have contrasting styles, like then take turns. You almost have to like be assertive in nature as a wedding vendor. You just have to be. It's just part of it. And at the end of the day, when a videographer does speak up to me, or like I gain 20 times more respect, especially if it's like in a nice way. It's like, hey, Mike, can I get that shot? Like, can I jump in there? Like we're under the veil. I'm doing the under the veil shit, and stuff like that. And I'll like jump out of there, and I'll be like my videographer, my buddy Vin. I'm like, yo, Vin, you want to get in here? You want to get that? Like kind of thing. And that's how you got to work. And I think in 2026, we should all be working like that.
Another frustrating aspect of working as a solo wedding videographer is when you get stuck in those seasons of backlog. You got 10, 15 weddings that you have to edit, but you're still filming on the weekend and you feel like it's this never-ending sea of work. And what do? You usually just put it off, you procrastinate, you go play video games, you do something else entirely because you don't want to have to face all of that work. I have been there. I still go through that from time to time, but it's gotten so much easier because of Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems is a high-quality video editing service that I've been using in my business, Wayward North, for about 3 years now, and they really do what they promise you that they're going to do. They take your raw footage and they turn it into some absolute gems. I know outsourcing isn't going to be for everyone, but if you're looking for a high-quality team that's going to give you your time back, but that's also going to take really good care of all the hard work that you've poured into this couple's day, I highly encourage you guys to check out Uncut Gems. They make the process super simple, and they give you back a wedding film that you just didn't really expect to come back. And right now they've been kind enough to offer you guys 60% off on your first edit. So if you head over to Uncut Gems, I will link them down in the description. Use my code HTFW at checkout so that you can get that discount. Try them out, see if they could be a good fit for you. And I think this goes in line with just couples want their cake, they want to eat it too. They want the editorial posy photos, then they want the documentary, they want the Super 8, they want the old nostalgic vibes. And then on wedding day, when you have those conflicting styles, that's when you can kind of meet that resistance and clashing. And because I had a wedding a few months back in May, and she hired, it was like a 3 photography team. There was a content creator, and then it was just me. I film weddings solo most of the time. And so I was in the kitchen with everybody. And I mean, the photographers are great. I mean, it wasn't like a battle royale type of situation, but it was still it was still kind of like an obstacle course where we're kind of just all like, going through, jumping over things, and everything was very fast. And so the bride wanting a documentary style wedding video, that's totally fine. What's going to end up happening though is like, it's going to be a documentary of a lot of those posing, and it's kind of going to be like a documentary of a photo shoot in a sense. Cause like when you have those conflicts or conflicting styles, it just doesn't always translate.
A big tip for couples, right? This is a big tip for couples, is that, if you're hiring a $10,000 plus photographer who has a specific style, you should be hiring a videographer that complements that style. Like I think a lot of couples sometimes will, not to say they cheap out on a videographer, but say they hire a higher budget photographer, they tend to have a lower budget videographer that may work in different style. And then vice versa too. It's like you might have 2 higher budget vendors, like a photographer and videographer. There might be, like a higher budget one in there. But their styles clash, right? Like, so if you're hiring a documentary photographer or a photojournalist, pure hands off, doesn't communicate with the couple, completely fly on the wall, completely like disengaged from the couple. They're shooting in the background with a Leica, like all this stuff, right? There are a lot of photographers like that, but you're hiring a cinematic filmmaker. That's not going to work. Like it's not to say it won't work, but it's going to add strife on the day. So I think for couples, like hiring vendors that complement one another goes a long way.